Hello, good morning. My name is Raúl Cervantes. My presentation has to do with digital libraries. As the title implies, it is to present the challenges and also the opportunities. Here is an overview of the topics or points that I will be covering. First, I will try to attempt to unify a definition. Then we will present a few digital library projects. A brief history will be discussed, mainly the past, present, and a glimpse into the future of digital libraries. Of course, challenges that digital projects face, such as financial aspects and technical issues. And in a more positive light, the opportunities, mainly accessibility and exposure. Definition: virtual or digital. Both of the terms, virtual and digital, are used interchangeably in the professional literature. However, the word digital is more widely used, according to a simple Google search. From now on, the expression digital libraries will be used. The first attempt to define the expression digital libraries, it is necessary to understand the scope of a traditional library. Traditional libraries offer a set of services and uphold a set of ethical principles. The services offered by libraries serve to justify their existence. On the other hand, the ethical principles embraced by libraries, such as the protection of privacy, copyright, and equal access to information, give the profession and the library as an institution a recognition as a steward and guarantor of information. Based on this understanding, digital libraries are not digital libraries in the complete sense of the word until they provide basic traditional services, albeit in a digital context, and are upheld by ethical principles. Here are some renowned examples of digital projects going on around the world. First of all, the World Digital Library, the California Digital Library, Europeana, and in Spain, Biblioteca Digital Hispánica. Of course, there is a long list of worthy projects to mention. However, this is just a handful of them. History of digital libraries. US universities received grants in 1994 to advance the concept of digital libraries. Efforts took place in the architectural design and interoperability of such components. At the beginning of this era, users needed to learn search syntax and be able to have certain software installed on their computers to view the results. It was not a user-friendly stage in the development of digital libraries. In 2004, it was said that digital libraries had not progressed much, that the initial state of developments have not produced outstanding advances or the expected advances. A wide encompassing set of standards were needed to ensure a satisfying experience at each stage of the research process. Consistency of such standards are paramount to achieve such interoperability. Metadata standards such as the Anglo-American cataloging rules and the machine-readable cataloging or MARC formats provided the standards at the initial stage of this endeavor. Later on, Dublin Core, a discovery metadata, was envisioned to allow interoperability between records with substantial metadata with those of little metadata. These interoperability factors is what distinguishes a collection from a digital library. Since then, additional types of metadata have been developed, such as structural metadata, which allows digital work to operate meeting the expectations of users, such as the ability to navigate through the work with ease. The latest development of this type of metadata would be the so-called Resource Description in Action, RDA. These principles are based on the functional bibliographic records. They are meant to produce relationships in bibliographic data to achieve compatibility with virtually any coding schema. Administrative metadata attempts to ensure long-term access of digital works, thereby circumventing the limitations of commercial software whose upgrades might render digital works obsolete in terms of access. Identification metadata deal with the issue of keeping a record of the changes a digital work might suffer in a given amount of time. It requires persistent naming, as opposed to just a URL. Longevity metadata are in charge of the preservation of digital works over time. To further development of these emerging forms of metadata will help achieve a level of interoperability and sustainability which will allow the existence of functional digital libraries as opposed to isolated digital collections. Some of the challenges are financial, technical, and of image. Financial challenges. Few libraries will boast of being well-funded. Most will admit lack of sufficient funding. Furthermore, in times of limited budgets, libraries are the first to experience funding cuts. In this sense, traditional libraries have lacked the necessary funds to meet the challenges of expectations and to take advantage of current technological opportunities. Technical challenges. When funds are available, there is still the need to develop the conceptual framework or technical specifications and a set of ethical principles on which to base a given project. This represents a challenge that requires coordination, organization, and of course, time, which libraries may not have in abundance. Just to make sure that I've covered the three types of challenges, and that was the case. I will continue with opportunities, accessibility, and exposure. Accessibility. The advent of new technologies has opened up new opportunities for small-scale institutions. Libraries from small and large universities have obtained more visibility. Of special interest are small libraries from 100% online institutions. Their students are not bound up by space. These libraries are also termed virtual or digital libraries merely because they provide access to subscription-based content. However, judged from the information provided previously, a digital library is much more than access to online resources. Digital libraries should provide basic elements from their brick-and-mortar counterparts. They should meet users' expectations, have a certain degree of interoperability within their local resources and with global content. One element that would be indispensable in any kind of digital library is a virtual reference service, and ideally one that is available 24/7 hours a day, 7 days a week. Question Point, a virtual reference service by OCLC, which operates as a cooperative, is a prime example. Hundreds of special public and academic libraries help one another, providing live chat reference and thus ensuring 24/7 coverage. Several commercial types of discovery services are available in the market, which help achieve local and online interoperability. For example, Summons from the company ProQuest, EDE's EBSCO Discovery Service from the company EBSCO, and Google Scholar are some examples of discovery services, which is essential for a digital library. In the area of remote authentication, ECProxy comes first to mind. It is a dependable authentication tool. So, mentioning again the three aspects that are basic for any digital library: virtual reference, discovery services, and authentication. These three elements function as basic requirements or components of digital libraries. Exposure. Technology has proven an ally in achieving global exposure. 100% online universities can now have a global audience and provide access to needed resources 24/7, that is 24 hours, 7 days a week, to all users, regardless of their location. As a summary, digital libraries, to be more than just collections of digital resources, need to contain elements of traditional libraries, such as structure, organization, identity, and preservation, and of course, a set of ethical components or principles, such as privacy, copyright issues, and access to everybody. Technological innovations have been helpful in making libraries accessible regardless of location. Limited resources and the lack of technical expertise might be obstacles libraries need to overcome in order to take advantage of technology developments. At this point of time, I would be happy to hear from you not only your comments, but also questions. Thank you very much, and goodbye.